Hello everybody, welcome to another Psychonaut Sessions, your home for all things psycho. We're back with another issue of Black Zeppelin. Gene Day's Black Zeppelin, I might add. Just take a moment and feast your eyes on this incredible, beautiful painted cover. If you watched my recent interview with David Day, the brother of Gene Day, you'll have caught that Gene Day was actually colorblind, so he didn't paint a ton, but he did do some of the painted covers for Black Zeppelin, and he's done a few other paintings. Not a ton, but he was colorblind, so it's amazing to see what he was able to do with this work. This is just something out of a mad dream. I don't even fully understand everything that's happening, but I absolutely love this cover. I love all the covers to Black Zeppelin. I like almost everything about Black Zeppelin. As you well know, if you watch this channel, it's one of my favorite black and white anthologies from Renegade Press. So let's dive in, take a look. Not a lot going on from Denny, the publisher, at this point in time, ex-wife of independent artist Dave Sim. Just giving kind of a regular update, basically saying, Black Zeppelin is getting popular at this time. As a reminder, Black Zeppelin was made in tribute in honor of Gene Day after his death. A lot of it's based upon old works that the family had that they wanted to reproduce of Gene's that never made it to print elsewhere, as well as contributions from other artists and friends and creators that Gene was mostly mentored to, but also peers to. So, first story is called It Waits. It's basically kind of talking about and hearkening to the Exorcist phase that went on in the 70s. So it was kind of a big deal after Exorcist came out. Every horror book, every movie was some kind of demonic possession, sort of exorcist riff. So Gene thought, why not? I'll give it a shot. So this one was actually done in 1975, 1976. Let me backtrack a little bit to just get the date for Black Zeppelin, 1985. I can't remember exactly, but Gene died a few years before Black Zeppelin came out. So here we get art and script by Gene Day. So this is all full Gene Day shop, and a wonderful splash page. So we're going Kirby style, EC comic style, incredible lettering. Just the ink work is gorgeous. I love the fluidity of how he's using the brush. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is the kind of ink work that I'm not sure I would like to see in color. The coloring would have to be really good and really complement. I just love. This is made for black and white. So we get a guy who is a regular pastor of some church, or no, he might be a priest. Anyway, Father O'Malley or something, I can't remember his name, but he is walking into a house and he's getting greeted by the demon of the child. He's been evidently working on this possession. So what I like about this is it's kind of implying that this particular pastor has been going back over and over and over again to work on the possession, and that's typically how exorcisms are done. They are a repeated thing that take a long time. It's not you just go in and one and done. From my research into demonology, so he goes in. The family is, of course, just, we can't take this anymore, and he just kind of passes them by, and he's just like, it's kind of funny because he's like, I said this would be the last session. I did not say it would be a success. She's like, dear Lord. So he's like you could tell he's very, I don't want to say callous, but he's he himself is beaten down by this. He just, he's a tired man. He's there to work. He's not there to comfort the family. And his work is exorcism. So he walks in and he's greeted with the little boy, but he is possessed horrifically. So this demonic presence is just full force, taking over the boy's body, visage, everything. That is so wonderful. I'll note we're getting a lot of just, a polka dotted zipatone in the backgrounds in this. That's not something I've seen a ton of so far in Black Zeppelin. I think he might have used, some of that in some of his Marvel work, but I'm not 100% certain. So it is a fairly new thing, it feels like. So he's just going back and forth with the demon, and of course the demon is trying to... we don't really get a sense of what the little boy looked like. The demon has fully taken over. And so, of course, he is... the demon's trying to trick the pastor, the priest, whatever. And so the priest is not taking it. He's just like, whatever. But then the demon himself takes on the visage of Christ, saying, please, Father, don't hurt me. Kind of messes with the priest. They get into it a little bit. Little bit of a demon priest tussle. And one of the final images of that little battle, he's ready to cast him out, and he moves his crucifix, his cross, up to the demon's forehead. It starts burning. The family hears screaming downstairs, and the father comes down with the little boy. I never ever presume to critique Gene Day, but that little boy looks a little creepy. So this was fairly early in his career. So, but still, that's kind of creepy, and the zipatone's kind of weird on it too. And but the father brings the boy down. Supposedly the boy is cleared, but the father, when he walks away, is even saying that he never found the origin of the demon, like the demon's full name and the demon's true origin, and that's apparently how you can exorcise a demon, is by knowing their origin. So he knows the demon is still there, and our last image is of the teddy bear that was in the room, has the cross burnt on it, and we get this nice, gruesome, little grotesque face here. So obviously the demon has moved into Demon Teddy. That would be an awesome. Alright, next, Occurrence on a December's Morning. So this is a story by Gene Day, with art by Bruce Conklin, and Bruce did some work for Gene Day and Gene Day's 70s black and white anthology Dark Fantasy, from his kind of homegrown imprint, Shadow Press. And speaking of which, these items that are on the logo, this little icon, this unicorn icon, is this Shadow Press icon that he originally came up with. So it's something that they've carried over into this series. It's a very short story. I won't get into it, but it's basically a group of men standing in this long bread line. It's in this dystopian type future. Everybody's hungry and starving to get food. You can tell nobody really gets fed much. It's December, it's cold, they're trying to burn fires. There's a fight that breaks out, and a lot of people flee, and the police, quote unquote, come to break up the fight, and it's aliens basically, and they shoot the main narrator down, who actually had nothing really to do with it at all. He was just witnessing the whole thing and narrating the story. So it's okay. It's a 4-page story. It's fine. Bruce's work is solid. It's and this is apparently some of Bruce's earlier work. I did not do any research to see where he's been and what he's been doing lately, but good luck to him. But now I wanted to get into The Eaters, which is the final story. This was originally written by Augustine Funnel, Gus Funnel, who was an old friend of Gene's, longtime friend. They grew up together, collected comics together, and Gus helped launch Dark Fantasy, which I referred to before, which started in '73, and contributed some to it, and ended up going on to write horror novels and other things in the future. But there was both of them were contributing to Nightmare and Scream, the horror comic anthologies at that time, and they basically created this story, Gus and Gene, to contribute to one of those, but it never got finished because Gene just got, it's one of those projects Gene started, but he got so busy with other work, with paid work, that he had to put it aside, which is what this anthology is filled of. So Gus wrote the story, Gene did the pencils, and for Black Labyrinth, David Day, who I recently just interviewed, you can find on the channel, brother David Day, the youngest brother of the Day brothers, of the Day crew, came in and finished the inks. And of course, I am a huge fan of David Day. I love his inks. I love his brother Dan Day as well. So there's something about their quality that really speaks to me, especially in that black and white aesthetic. So we get the visage of this man who's looking out a window, and the whole concept is that he has a neighbor across the hall, so he lives in an apartment complex, that he's watching a food truck coming and delivering food like 3 times a day. And he's like, oh, why, how is this guy like eating all this like food? It's so much food. And is just curious about it. So he's this like snoopy neighbor watching. And it's basically his monologue. He's really got nothing else to do. He's just watching and kind of thinking on the neighbor too, because he did see the neighbor. He said there's not more than one person to lose. There's just one guy, and he's like some skinny, sickly guy. What the heck? So he finally builds up the courage to go across the hall, knock on the neighbor's door, introduce himself. The neighbor does not say a single word, just goes back to his food and keeps eating, with a mass amount of boxes piled up that have been delivered. And he's just eating, and he's just eating. And finally, he's just like, what do you want? And the guy's like, I just wanted to get to know you. I thought we'd be neighbors, you know. I thought we'd get to know each other. And the guy only seems to care about eating. And he's like, well, I guess I shouldn't interrupt you, so I think I'll leave. And the old man pulls out a knife, cuts himself, and thousands, millions of maggots start pouring out of his skin and attack the man. Really cool, fun image there. So, the lighting. That's one thing the Day brothers are really good at, is the shadows in the background and the way that they lay out each panel. In terms of what I mean is in terms of the way each panel is highlighted with their shading. Just love it. So anyway, the guy gets devoured by maggots, and then we get the perspective of the food delivery boy who's talking about, man, delivering to this guy's apartment, you know, when it was just him is one thing, but now that there's 2 of them, I'm having to come like twice as much. So basically the guy was essentially, I believe, filled with maggots as well, and then he's just eating constantly. So weird, interesting, definitely, you know, one of those kind of horror tales from Scream or Nightmare, those magazines at the time. Cool ad here for Mystery. I actually have a Mystery comic I might cover in the future. Female Private Eye. and then we get a little snippet of the next issue of Black Zeppelin, which I do have, and I'll be covering soon. It's got some Dave Sim work, more Gene Day. Can't go wrong with that. So that's Black Zeppelin, and what's great about this, and especially why I wanted to cover this so soon after working with David Day in the interview, who was wonderful. He lovingly sent me 2 items that I am going to cover in the near future. 2 little zines that Gene made way back in the day when he was getting started, when he began his Shadow Press Underground imprint. So this is Out of the Depths. It's an anthology, weird sci-fi kind of book, or like Twilight Zone sort of thing. And he's just a small little zine, so look at this thing. Really cool. We'll be covering this and a little zine that he made of some Lewis Carroll poems, which I'm a huge fan of Lewis Carroll. So this is just, look at this. This is amazing. Rare, very rare, one-of-a-kind stuff. When you look up any Shadow Press Underground things on eBay, you're going to have to shell out some money to get those, especially dark fantasy. So very fortunate. I feel very lucky. Thank you, David Day. Can't wait to cover these. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep it psycho.